Hi there, Iain Mansfield, Director of Research at the Policy Exchange. Ian, hi, and Sonia Blanford, Professor of
Hi.
Social Mobility at Plymouth Marjon University. Hello, Sonia. Ian, lay it out for us. What's behind this, do you think, Iain Mansfield? Do you agree
So,
with this?
I broadly do, but I think you have to put this in context. So in the last sort of 15 years, the number of degrees on offer has exploded by about 30%. We have sort of almost a third more people going to university. And at the same time, a number of people doing adult education in colleges, doing apprenticeships, has dropped significantly. And that might be fine if all those new degrees were high quality. But actually, if you look at them, a lot of them have huge dropout rates, sometimes over 50%. Very few people then going on to graduate jobs. And you have to say that when students are paying, often getting up, 50 grand in debt for this, that yeah, they are a rip-off, and we need better quality control over these.
Why is the taxpayer being ripped off? They seem to be saying that. Gillian Keegan, the Education Secretary, and the Prime Minister as well, because they'll get the money back.
Well, they won't actually, because actually the taxpayer writes off about half of the amount of student loans. That's over 10 billion a year. And disproportionately, if you go to some of these ones, these courses, the courses which don't give you the skills you need to succeed in life, then you're not going to be paying it back. Now, this isn't about the odd person who goes and decides they want to work for a charity. These are about courses which systematically are turning out more than half of those who start the course are just getting nowhere in their life. And they are being sold a dream because they're being promised that university will be the gateway to success. And it's just not.
I've just typed something you said. The skills you need to succeed in life. What's success?
I think it's up to an individual to define their own success. But I think I'd go
Isn't
back
the
to
government
these.
defining success by saying what they're saying today? Here's an example. Like
Well,
Russell Group
there's
universities.
yeah.
Here's some courses you can do at the Russell Group universities. Anglo-Saxon, Norse and Celtic at Cambridge. Egyptology, Ancient Near Eastern Studies at Oxford. Education Studies at Durham. Fine. Applied Golf Management, University of Birmingham. And Parapsychology, University of Edinburgh. Should those lead specifically to parapsychology, applied golf management, education studies, Egyptology and ancient and Anglo-Saxon? Should they necessarily be aligned from the degree to the job?
No one's saying that they are. That's just a completely sort of false premise that's being put up. People are saying that they shouldn't be degrees which more than half of people drop out on, and they shouldn't be degrees which actually you can't get into any form of graduate job. I think I'd emphasize that there is almost no quality control over universities. They get to print their own degrees. They determine who gets a 2-1 or a first. This isn't the case in schools. It isn't the case in hospitals, this lack of quality control. And what the government is proposing is actually some very modest controls over what's become a little bit of a racket, frankly.
A racket. Wow. Professor Sir Steve West, President of Universities UK, Vice-Chancellor of University of the West of England, Bristol. I know you can't stay for long. A bit of a racket, Professor. What do you think of that?
I think it's very unfortunate that Ian is speaking that language and equally the Prime Minister speaking similar language. I think we need to understand what does go on in universities. Universities are quality controlled. There is an external examiner system and is the envy of the world in terms of the quality of the provision. So I do think that the language is perhaps not helpful. And what I would much prefer to do is to have a conversation with government and with policy advisors about what are we trying to deliver within our university systems. There are 2.8 million students studying in universities across 30,000 courses, and all of those graduates are reading subjects that interest them and are important to them. And many of those subjects are leading to careers in professions and are supporting the country. And I do think that there is something to have a conversation around in respect of ensuring that we provide the right information for students to make choices. And then alongside that, that they're given an understanding of what their subject and their career ambitions are likely to deliver for them over a lifetime. Remember that students are paying back, or graduates are now paying back over a 40-year period. That's a very long time. Therefore, some of the skills that we're looking for in all graduates is not just discipline. It is more generic skills around agility to problem solve, to work in teams, the ability to critique, the ability to be lifelong learners and change over a course of a lifetime. even the Prime Minister can't predict for us what we are likely to see in terms of graduate jobs over the next 5 years. So I do think this is a really important subject, and we need to give it some serious consideration.
Is Gillian Keegan right? Is the Prime Minister right, and others, and indeed Iain Mansfield, that we have a right as taxpayers to expect that people do degrees that will ultimately benefit the economy?
I think you have clearly the taxpayer and the individual has the right to expect universities to deliver quality education and quality provision that will enable people to ensure that they fulfill their futures. Now, tagging it to a particular employment in the future is really difficult. I can't determine what in 5 years' time, 10 years' time is going to be in the workplace. We have to ensure that we give people skills and knowledge that allow them to adapt over time. And they need to study subjects that are of interest to them and deliver a good prospect of employability in the future, which is a changing world. These are global citizens and a global knowledge economy, and that's what we need to ensure we're preparing for. And therefore, trying to pick winners now may not be the answer for the future. I do, however, absolutely agree that we need to ensure we have standards and quality being delivered in our universities. And some of the metrics that are there are designed to help universities and students and advisors understand the quality of the provision. I'm absolutely committed to that.
I want Iain just to come back on that briefly. Then we'll go to some students. We'll go to Vicky as well. There was another phrase there which struck me, Iain, which some people might think is self-indulgence. Students must be able to do degrees that are important to them. What do you think, Iain?
I think that's reasonable as far as it goes, but I don't think any student signs up to go to a course where they know where 50% of people drop out before they finish. I think what we're talking about here is we've not got a level playing field. So universities are up in arms about the fact that caps may be applied to a small number of courses, but every adult education in the country at every FE college faces caps. The number of apprenticeships are capped. Universities have expanded massively on the back of taxpayer largesse. And what they're being asked to accept is a tiny fraction of the quality control that is already applied to other areas of education. And it's FE colleges and apprenticeships that have shrunk and have paid the price for this vast expansion of university education. If we had a genuine level playing field here, then that would be much better. And then students could really choose what they wanted to do, whether that was an apprenticeship, a college course, or go to and do a degree.
All right. What did you do?
What did I do? I studied physics.
There we are. Straight to the policy exchange. Gillian Keegan did a bachelor's degree in business studies. She then became a successful
Gillian Keegan actually left school and started as an apprentice. She later did a degree.
Well, they're talking about apprenticeships today as well, making easing the cost of apprenticeships as well. That's part of this. And Rishi Sunak matriculated at Lincoln in 1998 to read philosophy, politics and economics, graduating with in 2001 with a first-class degree. What did he use that for?